Hey folks, Dane Harden with Western Masters Martial Arts here in Abingdon, Virginia. Tonight I'm going to be working with my uke, Mark Weiniger. Mark is a Sandan candidate in Yoshinkan Aikido, which is the particular style of Aikido that we teach here at our school. Yoshinkan's a unique style. It is a pre-World War II system that was developed by a gentleman named Gozo Shioda. Gozo Shioda was a direct student of Morihei Ueshiba. My teacher, Kevin Block Sensei, trained directly from Gozo Shioda. So we have a pretty close lineage there. Our school, Taekwondo, my teacher was Jun Ri, so we don't have to go too far to find ourselves back in the Orient. Hence the name Western Masters. Mark's on, face out. So tonight, I like to go back to the sword every chance I can when it comes to Aikido, because all of Aiki came from sword-based skill sets. So Mark's going to draw his sword, and if I do nothing and he cuts and I freeze and I'm watching the weapon, when we watch the sword, we get cut. Or in this case, when I watch the boken, I get my head crushed. So one of the things that we talked about in other techniques was this idea of entering, of erimi. So if Mark throws this thing like he needs it, I want to move into this guy. You have to develop enough confidence to move past a wooden boken that you know can bust your head, but you have to do that. Because if you don't have some reality or realism in your training, when it starts to happen to you in the street, you're going to be lost. That's all I have to say on that subject. So when Mark is doing this technique, I'm moving off at an angle, blending, turning, creating the elbow lock, coming around, going to koregagashi, pulling him on over. I like to strip the weapon. I can cut, and set. So that's the technique with the sword. If I take the same principle, and we do this without the sword, and Mark is now using a shomen strike on my head, shift, around, in. This is the important aspect. In. I like this control point. Turn my foot, lock it to me, turn. That breaks his arm. Shift, cut, over. Now I want to bring this to my body. I like to stretch here. Pressing down, dropping knee. I can reverse pins as well. Any of those are perfectly acceptable. Mark's on back up. Right. Center. So if we look at that principle of hiji-Atae, Mark's in a fighting stance, classical karate style. If he throws this punch, go ahead, and I shift offline, if I take that same concept, one more time, punch, shift to curl, now I have the same technique here. It really is powerful. As I bring this out, turning the thumb, bring him down, over, step, drop. The opportunities are virtually endless. Mark's on, back up. Pulse. You are okay.
Hi.
Seiza. Mark's on your sword. And that's your lesson for this week. Thanks so much.